Okay, this is the worked example for three of the three of the questions from last week's homework. Okay, just before the holidays. I've posted the actual answers to all 6 questions, but here are the 3 ones to try and give you a wee help if you get stuck in any of them. Okay, first off we're going to look at A and we're going to do task 2, which was working out the acceleration A, V, U, T. Okay, now this is the most simple one because it only has got one change, so the final speed is going to be where it finished, which will be 15, so that's V. The initial speed is where it started, which is 0 metres per second, and the time it took was 50 seconds. Okay, so the equation we know is A equals V minus U over T, which would just be 15 minus 0 over 50, which just gives us 0.3, I think, which is 0.3 m slash s squared. Okay, task 3 was where we had to work out the distance travelled, which remember is distance equals area under the graph. Okay, now because this is just one triangle, the area is going to be a half base times height, which would be a half times, well, it's 50 along the bottom, times the height of going up to 15. So when we do that, it's just going to be 375 metres. The last bit was task 4, where you were to work out the average speed. So we just do dvt for what we know. The distance we know is 375 metres. We know the time it took was 50 seconds for the total time. And the speed's what we don't know. So it's just going to be speed equals distance over time, which is 375 divided by 50, which gives us 7.5 metres per second. Okay, so that was the easiest one because it was just one line, so there was only one area. Okay, next one here is when we've got 2 different areas, because what we've got here is along the bottom we've got a rectangle, which would be area 1, and then at the top we have got a triangle, which would be area 2. Okay, so we start off the same way again. Task 2, A, V, U, T. Fill in what we know. Well, we know the final speed is going to be 10, because that's where it finishes up. But the initial speed is not 0 this time, because the actual acceleration started at 4. And the time it took for that to happen is 25 seconds. So we'll fill in the equation. A equals V minus U over T. 10 take away 4 over 25, which would be 0.24 metres per second squared. We then look at task 3. Task 3 is slightly more difficult, as I said earlier, because there is 2 areas, but it's the same start. A equals AUG for area under the graph. This time the first one is a base times height for the rectangle, plus the triangle, which would be a half times base times height. Fill in what we know. It's going to be 25 along the bottom times a height of 4, plus it's then still going to be a base of 25 times a height, well, it's going from 4 up to 10, which would be 6. So that would be 100 plus 75 equals 175 metres. We then do the last bit, which is just our task 4. And we do our shopping list. dvt. D is 175 metres. Time would be the 25 seconds. And the speed's what we don't know. So it's going to be V equals D over T 175 divided by 25. So when we do that, 175 divided by 25 gives us 7 metres per second. Okay. Now, as I said, the last one's a more difficult one because there is a change here as well. So what we'd do is we'd still do the same thing as we did before. We'd look at the different areas. Okay? Now, the thing that people forget is that this is one big rectangle along the bottom, which would be area 1, and then we've got our triangle, which would be our area 2. Okay? So, start off exact same. Task 2, AVUT, for our shopping list. Now the acceleration is only happening here. Okay, so the final speed will still be 30. The initial speed is where it started, which is 10. But this is the mistake a lot of folk make, is the time it took. It only started accelerating at 8 seconds and it finished at 12. So the actual time it took was 4 seconds in total. Okay, so we do the equation. A equals V take U over T. Fill in what we know, so it's going to be 30, take away 10, divided by 4, which just gives us 5m/s squared. We then look at task 3. Because my diagram has been drawn, it makes it more simple for me to actually see the two different areas. So we just do the same again, D equals AUG. So it's going to be base times height plus a half B times H, which is going to be, so the first one's going to be 12 times 10, because it's 12 along the bottom and it's gone up by 10, plus a half times, well, the base is only going from 8 to 12, so that's going to be 4, times the height, where it's going from 10 up to 30, so that's going to be 20. So we then do them, so that's 120 plus 40, which gives me 160 metres. Last bit, task 4, DVT, distance 160 metres, speed is what I don't know, time, well, it took 12 seconds in total, so I just do V equals D over T, 160 divided by 12, which gives me, now when I do it, it gives me 160 divided by 12, 13.33333333, but we always round to 3 significant figures, so it would be just 13.3 metres per second. Okay, now these are the actual answers to those A, C and E. I've also posted the answers to all of them, but without the worked examples. Check your answers. If you're getting them all correct, fantastic. If not, have a look through the video again and see if you can then work out where you've went wrong with the other ones as well. Okay guys, thanks a lot, bye.